If you guys can't hear me, let me know if you can't hear me. Um, because I'm just gonna keep talking because I don't know what's going on. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, it doesn't work. What was I talking about? Um, Dubai. Oh my god, this dang Dubai order. This Dubai order has been a pain in my side. And even though it was due to the negligence of my customer, the customer is always right. So I'm probably gonna have to end up eating at least $50 on this order, which is okay. So this is why I hate doing overseas shipping. And it's the reason why I actually even started Etsy was because of overseas shipping. It was a bit of a pain to do overseas shipping with my own website, and that's why I made Etsy because it was simpler, it was easier. I'm just gonna write that. I can't write and talk. Which one is this? All right, so I always sign every order, write a note. Usually, typically write this exact same thing. Thank you for your support. Your order means a lot to me and my family. And sign it, Papi. And ever since I've been doing that for over a year now. I've been getting a lot more reviews. People are a lot kinder to me, especially if I ship them the wrong item, which is one of the orders I have to deal with today. Um, that I see there's one of you in there. If you could just please tell me if you can hear me, I would much appreciate it. I had to restart the whole thing. There's really nothing you can do on the app to allows you to tell whether or not you can be heard. So, so yeah, so I sell all things on Etsy. My profession, my own business. I have my own website and I still sell some stuff on there, but like I mentioned before, the reason why I do it is because international shipping is much easier on Etsy than it was on my website. I'm sure I could figure it out. I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. Plus, Etsy takes more of a cut, a lot more rather than if you sold it on your own website. But then also Etsy is a good. Yeah, this is why I like Etsy. Etsy is a good way, a good thing to hide behind. It's a brand name people can hide behind. I'm not saying because I'm doing like shady shit, but when you're dealing with idiots on the internet, and unfortunately, when you're selling stuff to a lot of people, especially people overseas, like you it's just easier to hide behind the cloak of Etsy, because to them, most people think you are Etsy or you are part of them, and it's not because. And I only make this up because I feel like if people realize you're just an individual small business owner, I think they would treat you different if you were one. I don't know. I'm probably making this all up, but I do like being able to hide behind Etsy's guidelines. That's all I'm going to say, right? And then the Etsy's guidelines are clear, and I just hide behind them because a lot of times you just deal with people who are like, and it's always people who buy something and it was the wrong thing, and the moment you tell them, okay, well, it's a exchange only policy, um and the shipper, the and this is all Amazon's fault. The shipper or the buyer has to pay the return label, they lose their fucking mind. They lose their mind. They're like, well, I shouldn't have to do that. I was like, and then that's when I'm just like, well, I'm sorry, there's nothing else I can do per Etsy's guidelines, yada yada yada. And then they throw a hissy fit. Luckily, I've only had one bad review because of that, and that lady was stupid. And it was for an item I no longer sell. Oh man, I just put it in. Sorry, what's your name? I don't know. I keep the misspelling too. It makes it look more authentic. I'll fix it though. Let me write this. I can't do Studio City, eh? Nice. Let me write this because I can't talk and write. Yeah, I could do thank you notes and things like that. But I just feel like when you do those thank you notes, it's just so feels kind of disingenuous to me. Like, I don't know. I think one of the things that with this whole AI revolution and the whole internet, one of the things that we're kind of losing as a people is authenticity. I feel like you write it, it's super authentic, right? I don't know. Chat, please, can you let me know if you can hear me? I don't want to turn on that phone. Oh, I can turn on my PC. Let me do it on my PC. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm just talking into the wind. Just talking into the wind. Hello? Okay, all right, cool. So my audio's working now. Cool. All right, good. I know this is probably not super entertaining, but if anyone wants to start their own at-home business or have an invention they want to sell, you can feel free to ask me how I started and things like that. I figure like this is a good learning experience for people. I need boxes. I don't think this will fit on the small boxes. Let's see. What's up, Chris? Didn't know you were an Etsy bro. I haven't bought some items on that website. Not people know about it, but it's getting known. Dude, it's pretty big, man. Since I joined Etsy, and like I said, I still have my own website. The margin, okay, at work, I'm losing about 15 to 20% of my gross, right? But in my, I just feel like people are more likely to buy something off a reputable website or a known website like Etsy over like for example your own private website, you know what I mean? Like I just feel like it. And maybe I'm completely making that up, but I know for me I would prefer to buy off a reputable website or a known website over a, you know, random one. Hope this fits in this box. Pretty sure it doesn't. And why'd I have to put that key hook on this design? Okay, it'll fit. It's just gonna fit kind of weird. So yeah, so it's worth it, you know. Plus they do all the SEO stuff, so I don't have to deal with it, which is nice. And I'm pretty good with numbers. You know, I like to think I'm good with numbers, so my margins are fucking ridiculous, dude. Like this sells for $20, right? I'm probably only gonna get 15 of that 20, and the customer pays shipping. This only cost me $1 to make. You know what I mean? So the margins are great. Like I'm really good at making things cheap. I learned that back when I had. This is not the first business I've started. I've started quite a couple more businesses. Not the most profitable business because volume. Margins are good, but like you don't have good volume, then who cares how good your margins are? Um, but it's growing. We did 50% more in total sales than we did last year. So it's growing, and this it helps too. It helps. This pays for groceries. This pays for the car note. This pays for a couple things around the house, and it's good for my mental capacity because prior to being a full time papa, I had literally like three jobs. I had three jobs when I lived in California. I was a full time carpenter. Um, that was my main gig, and then I was also was a personal trainer, and also I was running this Etsy and this other company at the same time, where I wasn't trying to sell the company. I was trying to get a business partner who would just handle the sales, and then I could just worry about manufacturing and stuff. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of the guy Mark Bell from strength training, Mark Bell. So I had a couple meetings with him. Me and him were, we were hopefully gonna go in business together, but then everything kind of just fell apart. Um, you know, it's just I. This is the reason why I hate eBay to sell. Nice man, coins from like. Oh, you're a coin collector? Fuck yeah, dude. Dude, hopefully he still has some of them. Motherfuckers are worth a lot of money now. But yeah, so long story short, the deal kind of fell through. We were working. He didn't like the margins I had on the time, and partly reason why I'm so good at margins right now is what I learned from him. So I got my margins down really, really low on everything else I sell, and I have like what 22 different SKUs now, which is nice, but it can be a pain because you have 22 different things to keep in inventory. But I'm luckily enough I'm able to do it. Um, so yeah, I might bring that project back up, but it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth because I just hate dealing with other people. You know, it's just like I hate like wait. This is why when I first started working out, you have your gym partner, gym buddies, and you go to the gym together. And then when they don't go, you're like, shit, should I still go? And then sometimes you don't go, sometimes you do go, and then you're always like waiting for them and at what time, or what date. And I was just like, fuck all this. I hate this. I hate relying on waiting for people. And so it became as like, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'll see you there if I see you. That's it. And then that's how I like to do everything in my life. I don't like to be reliant on anybody. But yeah, so also had a t-shirt company. That was actually a really good company. I just one of those things that you just fall out of love with. I love making clothes. And then why did I stop? Well, after my daughter passed away, it was just dude, I forgot the L. I cannot write any of this stuff and talk. To pause. Okay. What was it? Let me see. I have a lot. Nice. Cool. Um, yeah, it got to the point where I just didn't want to do it anymore, man. I literally just didn't want to do it anymore. Maybe it reminded me of her or whatever. But I don't know. I fell out of love with it. I actually fell out of love with personal training too. I That's why I became a carpenter because I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't do it anymore. It was a point in my life where I was like, my emotional availability was super low. So I was just like, that's why I became a carpenter. I was always skilled in the trades. Um, um, 'Cause my dad was a contractor growing up. So I hit up one of my boys, who's a contractor, and I was like, I need to do something different with my life right now. And he was like, come on board. And then yeah, that's how I became a framing carpenter. I was more of a finish carpenter, if anything, but framing is my jam. It's fun. It's a fun fucking job. It's hard. It's a hard job, but it's fun. I want to see if robots do framing, man. Uh, that's crazy. But yeah. So I think I started making stuff and selling them during COVID though, because I was fucking bored. I was so goddamn bored during COVID. You can only play so many video games. And then that's when I started making inventions, and that's when I met Mark Bell. And then I started making other things, and then I just been like making things and putting them online and see if anyone wants to buy them. So my cheat code is I make things I need, and then I just put them online to see if someone's gonna buy them. Like this, I made this phone holder for my Action 4 Hero, or 5, I mean, and I made it so I can easily hold and grip my camera, and I just listed online, see if people want to buy it. I actually haven't sold. I think I've only sold one or two of these, but what I mean, like something I needed, I was gonna make anyways, and then now I just go see if someone else wants it. Love it. Same thing goes for everything else in here too. Basically, I needed something, and then someone else luckily needed the same thing. So this one is for the Rogue Echo. Problem is now is the SKUs, man. I got a lot of SKUs now, so this is not Rogue Echo. This is Rogue Echo. Another fun fact is actual, shipping. Oh my god, shipping is a nightmare because weight is everything. Luckily, 3D printed stuff are very light. And then you come across the issue of shipping, box sizes, finding the right boxes, and that in itself is a monster. Luck, thank God, there's Amazon. You'll see a lot of my things I created. This is just a iPad holder for a Rogue Echo bike. They all like, come on, they should come right up. I was pushing the wrong direction. That's it. It's stuff like that. I wanted a phone holder for when I was riding my bike long distances, or a iPad holder. Or someone will message me and be like, "Hey, can you make this?" I'm like, "Sure." And typically, if someone has that problem, there's probably another person that has that problem. So it does two things, lines the wallet, and it, it feeds that tinker in me, shows that curiosity in me. Uh, Fucking robot. What's up, guy? What's up, babe? Bentley? No build directions. You have special people in the world. Yeah, robots, man. I, I don't think, so I think the further we move into a robotic AI future, the closer we're going to get. It's going to push us further to like handcrafted stuff. artisans. Like, yeah, you could get a machine to make your food, right? You know, a lot of machines make your food now. You know, a lot of people don't know that. Um, or robotics, I mean. But people are gonna always, I think, in the most part, are gonna want authentic things made by hand. Also, my tattoo artist said it the best, you know, because they have robotic tattoo artists now, and he was like, "Good, I can't wait for something like that to happen." And this was his answer. He's like excited for it because now he gets to charge a premium for a human artist tattoo. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yes, we're moving in that direction, but I think people in the craft, the artisans of the world, are going to be just fine because they can now, if their skills are good enough, can they're not just cook or tattoo artists now. They're like a authentic cook, authentic human artist, a tattoo artist. You know what I mean? So it's like it makes sense, because people will pay that. I know I'll pay that. So that's my thoughts on it. And it's gonna take the It's basically gonna take the jobs. And then I'm thinking too, because I saw Elon Musk's interview about how it's gonna just like take over like the manufacturing things like that. And I just look, if you ever watch those videos in India, right? 2029 Judgment Day. That's funny. Those videos in India of those people just working in India and those in abhorrent conditions too. By the way, just abhorrent conditions. If you ever see those, run into those on the internet, you'll see those videos and you'll be probably thinking like, oh, human labor is so cheap. These guys don't even have shoes on right now and they're working. I mean, they don't have proper gloves. They don't have eyewear. Each one of these robots are probably going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and these guys get paid maybe $2 a day. You know what I mean? Like, the human labor is cheap. It's cheap. You just gotta export it, right? And I don't know, man. I just I feel like that's the big problem. It's just human labor is just too cheap in comparison to these robots. Unless they can get them so well, they say they can get them super cheap. This pen is done, but we'll see. Let me write this real quick. This is the hardest part about this job. A good thing too is I never really market any of this stuff. Etsy does all that stuff for me. They do charge another 12% on top of it, but I'll take 12% so I don't have to fucking market anything. This stuff will pop up on Facebook thanks to them, as long as I label everything correctly. So I'm always path of least resistance, man. To keep it, like I said during our work, keep it simple, stupid. The simpler you can keep something, the more likely you're gonna do it. Anywho, going to the Phoenix Sun game this Thursday. Let's see the Warriors play. Should be a lot of fun. Haven't seen the Warriors play in a while. Um, to catch up with chat real quick. 2029 judgment due to I've been in India rabbit holes lately. It's crazy you popped up. Dude, I've been in the yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy. I can't stop watching those 316. The magnetic poles keep moving. Will be magnetic flip tilting off the Earth 2040, 2050. That's just okay, cool. 2040, 2050. That'd be just the flipping pole. I remember watching the video about that and how it happens all the time. Not all the time, but I don't think I'm not too worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Dude, I think the furthest I look out in life, I don't look very far out, man, because I've known too many people who have died very, very young. You know what I mean? very, very young. So I'm not naive enough to assume I'm going to live to 2024 or 2050. I'm just always thankful for today. So I'm not worried about shit out there. Let's just say that. I'm just not worried about it. I'm just worried about today and maybe a little bit of tomorrow and hopeful for being able to see things I want to see coming up. That's it. But I get it. I get it. This one here, we got a good one here. Sam from Australia. We haven't had an Australia order in a while. Um, damn, shipping is an arm and a leg to Australia. I'll tell you what. I don't pay shipping too. It's so much easier to deal with shipping on Etsy because most of the time the buyer pays for it unless the order is over $35. Oh no, $40. I think it's 40. I forgot. $40. You have free shipping for me. Um, which is great because my average item price is 25. I think actually it's maybe a little bit higher than that. Um, but okay, this. Yeah, so I always typically do this during the day. I usually get like anywhere between 2 to 4 orders to do. Today we had seven. Well, one of them is something a mistake I made. So I had to get on it early today. Also to make sure that I had enough of the products that I haven't been really good in upkeeping my inventory as of late. So I just really wanted to make sure I had enough of everything. Because if I didn't, I would have some time before my deliveries this afternoon to make them. Sometimes I'm like missing a bit, like small piece or something that connects, maybe a screw, and I need like an hour or two to print it. So I like to give myself a little bit of a buffer. Oh, what's up, Toka? Toka Thea. Hey, what's up? Maj- it's magic. I'm gonna say magic. I think that's what you're trying to say there. Right now, typically we 90% of the time we're gaming, dude. We're playing Arc Raiders or something. Usually Arc Raiders. And then other times we're working out. Today we're actually have to work today. Today's the actual work today. And I'm just filling out this order to Australia. I think I've sold something to everywhere except Russia. I don't think anyone from Russia has ever bought any of my products. And again, I can't write because if I'm writing and I start talking, I'll start writing what I'm saying. All right. So, yeah, if anyone has any questions about starting something on Etsy or using their own websites and the pros and cons, I'm here for you, man. Because there was definitely some hurdles. I will say I would always push people onto Etsy. I know you got to pay fees. I know then now you're competing with other people. But if you're making something that's like bespoke, something that solves a problem for you or you think looks cool or whatnot. I don't sell cool looking things. I used to, and I used to make shirts and stuff. I don't know how I really want to send this one. This one's not as. Let me see this one. Yeah, it's the funny thing is, I actually started the Etsy because of YouTube. So here's a story why I actually switched to Etsy. So when I started YouTube, I had YouTube for a while, but I was messing around with the Steam Deck, right? And I still mess around with the Steam Deck. Not as much. There's only so much you could do with it, right? I'm not one of those ones to. I just make content, whatever interests me, and right now it's not as interesting to me, um, at all. So I was sending a back plate that I designed, which is it was not this one. It was a prior version. Something, I took a model. I found a model online, and then I made changes to it. Uh, this caddies for a long M.2. We had external fan. We did the fan mod. The JSOX copied me. Bastards. No, I'm joking. They did though, but I don't really care. And then we also did a mod for the rear buttons, so it was easier to use. And people wanted it. And unfortunately, people wanted it. I think we all together we maybe sold 8 of these, which is cool. Um, I priced myself out making these because I didn't want to make them. I'll get to that but the problem was shipping to Canada. I had to ship one of these to Canada, and through my website, I just couldn't do it. I went up, down, left, right, try to figure it out, and then I think I stumbled on something on on the internet, and it just said, "Oh, use Etsy." Etsy, like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use Etsy, and that's why I started using Etsy because I had to do international shipping, and it was just a pain on my website. Also, man, the shipping fees because people, Amazon like people don't like paying shipping anymore because of Amazon. They kind of ruined it for all of us, so that's always a problem too. But I don't know for whatever reason, Etsy is people are more likely to choose shipping on Etsy than anything. I don't know why. I don't know. It feels that way. Maybe I'm just making this up. Um, we almost there. We got two more. We got two more to do. What time is it? Oh, what's up, Trent? So here's a fun one right here. So this is kind of one of the first things I actually was selling a lot of. Oh shit, bike. Um, this one is doing a cup holder. This is the first time this happened to me. Someone made a design that was not only better than my design. Oh, this is a left. See, this is why I do it early. Now I can't ship this out till tomorrow. This is gonna take a couple hours to print. I'll do this right now. But let me just tell you a story. Dang it, man! I usually print two right ones. This thing takes about 3 hours to print. I should be able to get it out before I make a shipment if I print it now. So they made an actual better version of this, and they made it cheaper. So I figured that out maybe like a month or two. I was like, man, I'm not selling these things anymore. Like I need to go look and see why. Um, and I found the guy's listing. I looked at his listing. I copied his design essentially. I mean, he had this very simple design where the it's a cup holder, phone holder. This is the attachment that I spent the most time on making. This is a custom bracket for it to sit on. You need it to be strong. You need to make sure it stays secure. But I also added phone a key hook on there so you can hang your keys and stuff on. And this goes to on a stroller. Um, and so I made this. It cost me way more to make than the prior one, but I looked at his pricing and then I undercut him. I undercut him. So I cut him by like $2. He was like selling for 21.99, so I sold mine for 19.99. I think after fees and cost, I'm making about. probably like $15 on each one, because the buyer pays shipping. But that was a funny one. When I saw that, I was like, "You motherfucker," which is fair and all, capitalism, right? So I just made a better product and I made it cheaper. So that's the name of the game. Sometimes is you're competing with people on Etsy. So I can't ship that out because it is the wrong side. That means I gotta print that, and this is the order I fucked up, where I shipped the wrong damn thing. Reminds me, I need to make more of these because I only have one left. But yeah, that was funny. I was that I thought I found that very amusing. All right, this is gonna be the last one this morning, and then I want a 3D printer. Can you make some cool stuff? You can make whatever you can imagine, dude. You can make whatever you can imagine, man. The world is your oyster. I didn't, man. The only thing about 3D printing I regret is not doing it sooner. If I watched videos about it for about a year or two before I bought one, and the reason why I bought one is I was locked in the house during COVID because my wife had gotten sick, right? And I didn't want to get anyone else sick. And just in case I was one of those outliers who, doesn't show any symptoms but can still pass it on, I didn't want to risk it. You know what I mean? That was during the exact height of COVID. You know what I mean? Where COVID was quote unquote deadly at that point. But what I said was I ordered a 3D printer. Well, I found out my wife got sick and it came in like in 4 days, and I just messed with it for the next 6 days. Then I just started making stuff, like simple things. I was making things, custom orders for. So one thing I was making money on out the gate was always phone holders. People loved phone holders, because people have phones. Um, but the one thing I was selling a lot was like custom keychains. That shit was wild because I had a lot of customers that were, when I had my shirt company, who ordered like, branding for their companies and shirts. That's where the money is, by the way. Like if I was still doing that, you can make a lot of money making custom shirts. Not anymore because everyone does it now. Like it's such a saturated market where you can literally buy a printed shirt for, you buy enough of them for $12 and per shirt. And back then I was charging like 18, 19, sometimes $20 depending on the shirt. And I was making about, I would say about 70 to 80% margin on those. So it was all just labor. It was mostly just labor. And it was I kind of I if you don't like if you stop I stopped like doing it, but I knew there was a lot of money in it. But then also, as I stopped doing it, there was a lot of other live services that were doing that. So I'm luckily I got out when I did, because it would have been harder to compete for sure with all these Chinese companies coming in. All right, so that's going out. I gotta grab my printer, the laptop, so I can print these ones. Expensive. Yeah, the expensive as hell. They're not too. Hey, man, I've always had this rule: if it makes money it makes sense. You got to spend money to make money. I don't really like that term because it's kind of misleading. But if you can make money 3D printing, it's kind of a no brainer for me, whether or not you should buy one. Um, for me, it's kind of a no brainer. Tired this morning. Um, Plus, they're all tax write offs, man. I just bought a new one. I didn't really need one, but this printer right here is like kind of in and out, and I always like to have two printers because if you have one printer down, like you're fucked. I mean, if yeah, you're kind of fucked. So having a spare helps a lot. So this one needs to get fixed, and I'm actually gonna fix it, and then I'm probably gonna sell it or give it to my brother, one or the other. Paid for itself already. Oh shit, I forgot the note. See, that's why I shouldn't be doing this while on stream because I'm fucking gonna make mistakes. Um, but yeah, I can't recommend it. If you have the mind, a creative mind, and you have these things that you want to make in your head, and you're like, oh, I could do that and make it like that, then you should get one because not only is it a potential money maker, but it could just it could be a fun fucking hobby, dude. I promise you, even if I wasn't making things to sell, I would still have a 3D printer because there's always something I want to make. I wonder if I could make this. That's literally the conversation I had in my head. Like, I'm gonna make this video that I don't know. I'm still testing the product. That's why reason I haven't finished it. It's gonna be a short about my new printer because it was pretty expensive. It was about $1,500. And the thing I first thing I made on it wasn't even anything to sell or anything. Was I made a grate for my kitchen sink because I got tired. I didn't like the metal grates that they had because I don't know, man. When you're washing dishes, right? You got the stainless steel or whatever ceramic porcelain, and it's always concave, so water drains properly. But I always hated that, especially in my sinks because I got the split sinks. I don't have the big apron sink like I used to have, and it's a pain in the ass because you can't put a lot of stuff there, and especially bowls and cups and stuff. So I got the metal grates, but the problem with the metal grates, so you can sit stuff on there. Also, if you drop something, it's less likely to break. Um, Spoons and forks fall through, and then you have to fucking lift the thing up and then fucking get the spoon and fork out. I know this is a fucking first world problem, man, but it's an annoying problem for me at least. So these are the orders for today. We have one more. I gotta print that out. I'm gonna actually end the live stream shortly. Print it, and then we're probably gonna do some gooping on our graders until my son wakes up. But that's basically the workflow. But yeah, so I made a metal grate or a plastic grate. It's kind of warping because it's made out of this same material, PETG, which is pretty resilient. But I've been putting hot lids on into the sink, and the hot lids have been pretty sure hot lids have been warping it because those lids are super duper hot. You know what I mean? They're like 200 degrees, right? When you take them off the hot, and it's kind of been warping it a little bit, not melting, but warping. But they're working great. They're working amazing. I'll never sell something like that because it's too expensive to print. I think it's like $5 worth of material to print. It takes fucking forever to print. And I don't want to even shipping it's gonna be a nightmare. Plus they sell them on Amazon. I'm not gonna go into a market that where Chinese people fucking are all over it already. No offense to Chinese people. I'm part Chinese, but yeah. So all I mean to say is um yeah, I use it to fucking make something for my sink. So even if I didn't use it for selling stuff, which I do. I print majority of my new phone holders on it on that machine. And one more thing about that machine versus this one behind me, it's tolerances are insane. So when I mean tolerances is when you're making parts that fit each other, you have to put a tolerance between them so that they you don't have to do any sanding. And this took me a long time to figure out. Um, a lot of throwing parts away because they didn't fit correctly. So I got the tolerance. Long story short, after months, I figured out the tolerance for a machine like this one behind me, and the new machine, the tolerances are completely different. It's so much more accurate. So, for example, I had to the tolerance was point zero, no, 0.2 millimeters circumference around whatever the object you're printing. So it has to be smaller or larger, whatever the part, whether it's a male or female part, had to be a circumference total a point two, no, on each side it had to be 0.2 millimeters smaller. The new one is damn near is like 0.05. So when I mean to say when I say that is when I'm printing things that I've already designed on the Bamboo P1S, I they don't fit properly when they're printed on the H2S. They don't print properly. They're super loose. They slide off easily. So I s- I want I'm gonna have to. They have to. I don't have to, but I'm gonna switch off all my printers now and move to all the new H2Cs because I don't want to have two different designs for the same product going off two different printers because logistically it makes no sense. And plus it's another write-off, so who cares? So I'm gonna get actually the dual head one or the four head one, the six head one. I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't really do multicolor prints. Like I said, I don't really like to make like knickknacks. I make things I need or people need. But I definitely want to switch over to all the new line just because that tolerance is insane. It's insanely good. Plus, those new machines are fucking quiet. They're so goddamn quiet. These ones are like 3 to 4 times louder than the new machines. I'll show them to you before we get off stream. And hopefully we can do some gooping. I need to print that thing out before I do some gooping though. So this is the new one over there. So this is the new one. Just printed out these phone holders for a Rogue Echo bike. This is a 14-hour print. It costs about 300 grams, which is about a dollar. 300 grams for me is it's about a dollar hundred per 100 grams. So let's say it's $3 to print those. Each one of those sells for $20 a piece. So the margins are good. This is the one I was talking about. This is the one that needs a point 0.2 millimeter offset on everything. This one needs less than a point 0.1. Like it could be tighter. I'll probably keep it at point 0.1, but that means I have to change the designs on everything to print onto this one now, which is something I'm just not willing to do right now. Just not willing to do that. So I'm probably gonna end up doing that maybe later this year. I, once I pay off that one, I'll probably buy a new one. I'm a sucker for 0% interest, man. If you give me a financing option for 0% interest, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna fucking take it. So I'm just gonna pay it. I'll pay this thing off about in another 6 months, and then I'm gonna order the bigger one. So I'll have two of these right here, and then this one I'm probably gonna get rid of. I think my neighbor might want one because he always wanted to get into it. So I might sell this one to my neighbor. That one in the desk though, that one's a troublemaker. So I don't know if I want to sell that one because I don't want to sell someone my problems. I feel like an asshole doing that. And yeah. So anywho, I'm gonna take off this stream. I might not get back on. If I do, I'm gonna be streaming Arc Raiders. I gotta get this order printed out today so that I can ship it today. Hopefully, if not, it'll go out tomorrow. Peace. Also, tomorrow morning we are working out. back and posterior chain day.